Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over 5 tips that'll help you instantly improve in Warzone. Don't worry, this isn't a video filled up with a bunch of bullshit tips so I can hit the 10-minute mark. If you enjoy the video, consider subscribing. Alright, let's get started. My first tip is going to be predictability. An example of this would be that you're in a building and you hear a guy upstairs break through the glass, right? Well, your first in-game prediction should be that he's jumping from the second floor to the bottom floor to see if he can catch you off guard. Being able to predict this, though, you'll be the one catching him off guard with already having a sense of where he might be heading. You can apply this in almost every aspect of the game, from a downhill situation, an uphill situation, just kind of having a prediction of where they're going to be and where they're heading if they decide to go on the move. So moving on to number 2, that's going to be watch your aggression. This one is probably my biggest issue. If I see a guy running by himself, I instantly want to go ahead and take him out of the game, right? Who doesn't? I had a couple shots and he runs into a building that just so happens to have all 3 of his other teammates in it, and I end up dead. What the fuck? So this tip is basically don't over pursue one guy, because more times than not, you're going to end up in a bad situation that leaves you eliminated. Number 3 is going to be positioning. So to go off of the last tip's example where I followed a guy into a building and ended up getting myself eliminated, what if I quickly chose another route to get a better positioning? For example, a building beside the one the player ran into, right? From that building, I would have safety with cover and be able to scout the opposing player's current position and most likely catch him off guard through like a window. So to put it in a basic version, that guy ran into a building. He ran into grandma's house, okay? And right beside grandma's house is a taller building than that one. What if instead of chasing him into grandma's house, I just turned around, went to the other building, and caught leeway from the window that literally full fucking view of grandma's house, right? That's basically what I'm meaning by positioning. Always have good positioning so you can always have that little tiny jump on the opposing player. Number 4 is going to be movement. Movement is very essential to Warzone. So for a basic explanation on how to improve movement is to, well, always be moving, whether that's jumping, sliding, or utilizing the player camera to the correct places. When I say utilize the player camera, that's your view. In other terms, the first person view, right? Which could be as simple as making sure your character's view is directly facing the middle of a door, so when you go through that door, you don't end up stuck on the frames of the door, of course. Which would also apply to windows, ledges, really anything to do with your player camera. With movements such as sliding or jumping, could very well decide a gunfight. Let's say a player has good aim on headshots. He's fucking Shroud, right? Well, one simple jump could then force that player to recorrect their aim and attempt to continue the headshots, which in most cases they won't be able to hit those high damage shots, right? The same applies to sliding. It forces a player to readjust their aim mid-fight, so just get good with your aim when going through these movements. Practice sliding and shooting at the same time, basically is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, doing jump shots or sliding shots way more often and getting a good muscle memory for that kind of aim with your movement. So number 5 is going to be awareness. Again, another important factor to Warzone, or really any BR game you play. Awareness comes to many things, such as the map you're playing on. Be aware of the spots that could hold potential players, such as the tops of buildings or windows of buildings nearby. Awareness can also apply to circle movement. Always keeping an eye where the circle's adjusting to in the late game is crucial. Having that circle awareness can allow you to get the jump on other players by figuring out the best spot for you and your teammates, which usually means finding places with decent cover, right? And lastly, in the player awareness department, if you're in a late game circle and you see a team camping on the far left side of peak, you would of course want to stick to the right side of that area, but keeping knowledge of players' whereabouts is huge. It ensures that you and your team know not to go in a specific place that could end with you being eliminated. Another thing to build off of that is, okay, so the team they're sitting at the top of peak, but they're at the far left on the brick wall or whatever. Okay, you see that team from all the way down at the hill, and you know, well, if we don't want to be spotted by them, we need to move far right. So you move far right and you kind of move yourself up the back of peak, and you spot those guys still on the far left, but now to your right because you came up the back. So basically keeping awareness that, hey, I can't just move through the bottom of peak or the mid point of peak, or I'm going to get shot. Because they're up there, they're utilizing high ground, and they're sticking to where they're at, and they're not moving. I think the most important on this list that can really do an improvement instantly is the predictability, movement, and awareness. I feel like Call of Duty and Warzone is more of a mental game per se. I don't think aiming is that hard in Warzone, but I do feel like the mental aspects of Warzone can make you a 110% better player. But that's my opinion. I don't really know. That's all the improvement tips I have today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. Why not? It's not 10 minutes long. I didn't make you sit through, bullshit. It's 8 minutes long now that I'm looking at it. But if these tips helped you in any way, let me know in the comment section below. And thanks for watching and have a great day.